Exponential functions and compound interest. Let's take a look at an example of how money grows in an investment annually. That means each year we're getting money added to our account. This is an exponential function. Remember that the standard form of an exponential function is y equal to start, where the start is the y-intercept, times 1 plus r, which is the common ratio, current divided by previous, R being the rate, the percent that the investment is growing by, to the power of X, which is time. For this example, we're going to do 10% interest compounded annually. Our equation then is Y equal, we're starting with $10,000 and it's growing at 10%. That's 1 plus 0.1, which is 1.1 to the power of X. In this example, each year 10% is added to the account. Beginning at 10,000, 10% is taken, 0.1, and we get $1,000 added to our account. And the next year comes along and we have 11,000 in our account. At the end of that year, 0.1 is multiplied by the 11,000 and we get 1,100 added to our account. And we now have 12,100. At the end of that year, we multiply by 10% and we get 12,100, and that gets added to the account, and we now have $13,310. At the end of that year, we multiply by 0.1 and $1,331 gets added to our account, and we now have $14,641. Now, the thing I want you to notice is that what's added to the account each year is increasing. That's because the 10% is based on a larger amount. When I take 10% of a larger number, at the end of the year, I get a bigger amount. And as time goes along, each year, what gets added to my account is increasing. It keeps getting larger. And that is the way compound interest works, because your new amount to be added is based on an increasing larger amount, and we keep increasing more and more and more over time. Notice in our equation, we're multiplying by 1.1. Yet, when I was showing you this, I multiplied by 0.1, 10%, to see what's being added. Multiplying by 1.1 will include what's added and give you the total new amount for the next year. What I'm saying is, if I take 10,000 times 1.1, I get $11,000. And if I take 11,000 times 1.1, I get $12,100. Every time I multiply by 1.1, I immediately get that next value that is a 10% increase. Multiplying by 1.1 skips the adding step. 1.1 is 110%. So that includes the 100%, which is the previous year's total, and the 10% increase, that is the interest for that year. Remember that the common ratio is the current divided by the previous. If I take 11,000 and divide it by 10,000, I get 1.1. If I take 12,100 and divide it by 11,000, I get 1.1. Any value I pick there, if I divide it by the previous, I get 1.1. Now, it won't be exact down here because these values are rounded, but it's still going to be very, very close to 1.1. Since each number, as I take a step over and over and over, I'm multiplying by 1.1, this is actually a geometric sequence. They are essentially the same thing. We have a common ratio that we multiply by to get the next value. With an exponential equation, though, I can find any value very quickly by just plugging in a year. If I take this equation, 10,000 times 1.1, and I plug in 8 for x to the power of 8, what I'm going to get is $21,435.89. And I can do that for any value right there. We're going to take a look at 3 types of compound interest. Annually, which is what we've already done, based on once a year. Monthly, this is the way it works in your savings account at your bank. 12 times a year, money gets added to your account. And quarterly, which is 4 times a year, every 3 months. Stocks pay dividends quarterly. The equation for annual growth, you already know. It's just a standard equation. Y equal to start. In this example, we're going to start with $5,000 times 1 plus 8%, 1 plus 0.08, that's 1.08, to the power of x. If I asked you what that investment would be worth after 20 years, you would replace x with 20. I entered that into Desmos, and I got 23,000, and this is dollars, $23,304.79. I'm going to ask you to round this to the penny usually. The 5 tells us to go up. You don't need to write 1 plus 0.08. 1.08 is fine. It's even better. But I wrote it this way because on the next two, it's nice to write it this way because you don't have to worry about any kind of rounding. I'll show you when we get there. The savings account in your bank works differently because money is added each month. And when they give you an interest rate, it actually gets divided by 12. Yes, that's actually the way it works. In your bank then, this investment would look like this. Y equal 5,000 times 1 plus 0.08. Remember, you get money every month. So your interest rate gets divided by 12. Now you have to understand, going to the power of 12, 12 months is 1 year. This equation would only account for 1 year growth. So if I want to go 20 years, I go 12 times 20. If I want to go 10 years, I go 12 times 10. If it's going to be a general equation, it'll be to the power of 12x, where x is the number of years. Let's replace that 12x with 12 times 20. Again, 12 because it's 12 months in a year, since we're dividing by 12, and 20 for 20 years. Make sure you put that in parentheses. Enter that into Desmos, the graphing calculator. Notice the way I entered this, 1 plus. I like entering it like this. I don't have to worry about rounding or anything. This comes out as accurate as I can make it. And we get $24,634.01. The 3 tells us to keep the 1 the same. Compare these two and notice that this one is better. In general, the more times you compound, the better, because when you compound, you multiply by your interest rate, and as your amount grows, the more often you multiply by that, the more often money gets added to your account, and you're continually taking a percent of a larger amount. Interest compounded quarterly would be like this. Y equal 5,000 times 1 plus the rate, 0.08 is our percent, 8%, divided by 4 quarters in a year. Going to the power of 4 then would be 1 year. That's 1 year of growth. Then I'm going to multiply by the number of years. If it's 20, I'll multiply by 20, or 10, or X years. There's the equation that represents 8% growth on $5,000 quarterly for any number of years. So continuing this example, going to the power of 4 is for 1 year, multiply that by 20 for 20 years, enter that into Desmos. And we get $24,377.20. We look at the 9 and the 5 tells us to go up, and the 9 becomes a 10, and we carry the 1 and it becomes 20 cents. Remember then, our general equation, y equal to start times 1 plus r to the power of t, is for annual growth, once a year. Take the rate, in this case 8%, and divide it by 12 if it's monthly, then go to the power of 12 for 1 year, and then multiply that by the number of years. For quarterly, we take the rate, we divide it by 4 because there's 4 quarters in a year. We go to the power of 4 for 1 year, and we multiply it by 20 for 20 years. And in general, the more times it's compounded will give the largest growth for an investment. The rest of this video is questions from your assignment. The first 20 questions are review, so watch the previous video if you have a question there. These questions only deal with compound interest. Question 21. Our standard form equation is y equal to start is the y-intercept, times 1 plus the rate to the power of x. We're going to invest $9,000. We're starting with 9,000. It's invested at 28% interest. That's 1 plus 0.28 as a decimal. It's compounded annually. That's the normal equation. That's this to the power of 40. And you can certainly make 1 plus 0.28 1.28. Enter that into the calculator and round to the nearest penny. This ends up being a large number. $174,840,200.30. Question 22. Y equal to start times 1 plus the rate to the power of x. This becomes y equals, we're doing 9,000 again, times 1 plus 0.02. Remember, 0.2 is 20% because you move the decimal 2 places. 0.02 is 2%. So this is 1 plus 0.02 to the power of 30, annual growth. We can write that as 9,000 times 1.02 to the power of 30. This ends up being, not near as much as the last one, $16,302.25. Notice that it was only 2% interest, and what a difference that makes in what you get. Also, you'll discover that if you add 10 years or 20 years to an investment, it makes a huge difference. Play with your numbers and experiment. This is the way it works in the real world. Question 23 is compounded monthly. That means we'll take the interest rate and we'll divide it by 12 because you get money in your account every month. Our standard form equation is y equal to start times 1 plus r to the power of x. Now we have to change this because it's monthly. That's y equal to start, 19,000, times 1 plus 11% is 0.11. Compounded monthly, it gets divided by 12. Going to the power of 12 just gives us 1 year. I'm going to multiply that by 13 for 13 years. Enter that into the calculator, and we get $78,879.75. Question 25 is another monthly question. That's where we'll take our standard form of an exponential and modify it to fit the situation. Here we get y equal, we're starting with 12,000, 1 plus 28%. It's monthly. You get money in your account every month, so it gets divided by 12. Going to the power of 12 is 1 year. If I want to do 38 years, I do 12 times 38. What you're doing is turning it into months. By 12 makes it months. Taking 12 times 38 makes it months. Enter this into the calculator, and you get $443,596,704.89. Question 26. We will take our standard form of an exponential equation, y equal to start times 1 plus r to the power of x, and we will modify it for compounding quarterly. Y equal to start is 16,000 is what we're beginning with. It's invested at 20%. That's 1 plus 0.20 or 0.2. It's quarterly, so you will get money 4 times a year. We would divide it by 4. Going to the power of 4 just gives you 1 year. We want to do this for 22 years. 4 times 22 would be 88. So go to the power of 88 or use parentheses when you enter it in the calculator. This ends up being $1,171,597.13. Question 28, another quarterly question. This time we're starting with $8,000 and the rate is 13%. That's 1 plus 0.13. It's quarterly. There are 4 quarters in a year, so we'll divide by 4. Going to the power of 4 is just 1 year. We want to do 35 years, so we have to take 4 times 35. Dividing by 4 turns this into quarters, and we have to go to the power of 4 so that up above our exponent represents the number of quarters in 35 years. This ends up being $704,203.91.